See, on time for once. See, I never start on time. Very rare. But you
Yeah,
showed up
that's
early
fine.
too for once.
Yeah.
No, so Sorter's hard to track down. I do have my commentary I have to do, so if people see this down the line. Yes, I happen to be awake and suffered through binging Ironheart. Not as much brain cell loss as I thought it would be, but the writing and the dialogue's enough to. If I weren't numb to bad millennial writing, I mean, the show would be painful. But I do have to give the show props. It does the heist well, and it does. The heists are pulled off really good. Now, the other part is there are very good roles in here. Like Parker, the guy who plays the main villain, though it's going to be entirely forgotten about if they ever try to bring Mephisto to the MCU as an official, because
Yeah.
it's kind of like the plot holes alone are enough to make a person go insane, because they, even though towards the end you can tell there was a rewrite, which, bear in mind, like, you can spot it, like the final where uh I mean, not that people are gonna see it anyways, she makes a deal, like, they go, okay, like, the rumors that Mephisto is going to be in the MCU, like, people have seen him in Lanterns. I think that's in No Way Home, basically. Like,
Yeah.
WandaVision, we know, like, WandaVision, it was heavily hinted at. Like, but anyone, if you know the lore about WandaVision, you know, like, he was going to be in it. Like, they're going, and it's nothing against it. I mean, they've probably been hinting at it enough to have a potential. But I have to say that, even though as much as I would shit on the series for totality of what it does have. I mean, okay, I went in expecting a lot of CW shit. In reality, right? The special effects of the suit don't age well. Like, the suit, like, plot happens because plot must happen. It's one of the definitions of the show, and it makes it far worse, sort of, right?
Yeah, and it happens. Plot happens like quite oftenly, so things just happen all the time.
Oh, she
Or
breaks her suit and she just upgrades it overnight.
with magic.
Just literally nothing. And look, the AI is retarded. Like, my God. Okay. I have seen people glow up that show because they go, this is how actual black girls talk. They talk with their hands and stuff. It's like,
Oh god.
oh, fuck. Okay. That gets. So the scenes, like, be thankful to people when they reviewed it. Okay. There's dialogues like, if I weren't playing a game and watching it, my eyes would roll to the back of my head and I'd have to turn it off. Like,
I
it's
mean,
literally, yes. The
it would be
famous.
like that compliment is like
It's.
complimenting San Andreas because that's how black people talk with their guns.
No, they talk with their
The
hand.
fuck?
Okay, I'd have to ask Theo this, or like LG. Do black women talk with their hands when they're around each other? Like, do they clap or when they speak? Because the only time I've ever seen that is, wasn't there a trend with like weird liberal women that would do that? Like somehow it got picked up by some other people.
Oh,
I was like,
the claw thing.
well, they like talk with their hands. Like when they're talking, they clap.
Not clap. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's not an animated gesture either. It's like,
Uh, as much as Italians and Romanians do. Yeah, all Greeks, I guess. We also do that. But
yeah, do you know
it,
what I'm
it, it
talking about too? Like,
the thing is,
apparently it's.
we don't do the clap. I don't think Italians or Romanians or other Mediterranean people do that. I think
What?
it's the clap is just a black thing, maybe. I don't know.
I
I
don't
have no
know.
fucking idea.
The show is literally the stereotype of the biggest stereotypes.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna lie. God, if you know, and one of the biggest things I've seen about Ironheart is the black people are like, okay, these were people. So I shit you not. One of the comics people I watch literally said the show was gonna be buried under like you weren't gonna get a trailer because it wasn't dumped. And now he had to embrace it or so because I mean, progressives have to glow up the show. Like, they really are. But the show is painful to watch at times. And I wish I could not. Like, the heist scenes are good. Don't get me wrong. They are very good. Like, that part of the thing when they go to it, sure. Does the suit look like. My
Look
God.
good?
They make the fucking okay. You at least power armor in the Fallout TV show looks a shit ton better.
That is not a
That's
good
a
compliment for
more,
Ironheart.
but well, no. Actually, the funny thing about like when they did the power armor in Fallout, that's an actual full suit. By the way, I mean you
Yeah.
actually saw how tall they were, right?
Yep. I
They
didn't really
actually
watch the show,
designed
but
in the Fallout TV show that the power armor, when they're in power armor, is an actual exoskeleton.
yeah, I mean, people have made them even like in cosplay and shit. So it's not exactly surprising
It's
that they
not
did it, but
new, no,
yeah. But yeah, they put some effort.
but Bethesda did do the Fallout 4 armor, so it does work. But the issue is literally like the meme of the it's not that people are afraid of oh it's black people being black people. That's the worst bad faith criticism I've seen of it. The writing is such millennial writing.
Also,
Like
okay, we're gonna make a black superhero. What are we gonna have a do at the start? Steal shit. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's not the stereotype.
what uh because the big difference in that version of Riri Williams is she's she's not a genius. She's a genius level intellect. Because okay, she graduated early. The big thing about her and her origins, people forget in her original run, she was actually so she was brought back to the Marvel universe right around the time they brought back Miles from the Ultimate Universe. So she is like Tony Stark, a genius, basically. Genius level intellect. She graduated early. She got into MIT. But in the universe, right? Because there's two lines I've seen about Ironheart. They're like, oh, she can't have a redemption arc, whatever else. No, it's not about that. When she was introduced around the end of Civil War II, one or two comics prior, right before Captain Marvel plowed a hole through Tony Stark, seemingly killing him.
Yep.
Which he stayed dead for, like, I would say a decent bit, right? But yeah, like, and then she took over the role of Iron Man as a, well, technically, because in the universe, Tony Stark just, if you don't know it, Tony Stark just leaves armor everywhere, funds wars, and he's pretty much a totalitarian dick. In a different timeline, he actually funded the Sentinel program. So she reversed engineered a Iron Man armor, basically. And that's how she got on the radar of people. She basically did that. But people felt after Tony died, she just inherited the mantle like nobody's business and did not earn it. But this was also one of the times in I put in she wasn't, and it's more the victim of she did not have a really good introduction. Then when someone went back and redid her origin, they had her basically become the bratty black girl, told by an older white woman, you can't do shit. So the question is, which Riri were we going to get? It's not that she's an insufferable bent. You can be arrogant and smart, but you can also just be a giant, terrible character. Like, if one thing I will say consistent about the show, and I'm sure because, well, Sorter or others do not want to suffer through it, but she is not a. Look, if someone really told me you were writing a villain origin story, I would believe it. Better.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
not kidding.
especially it's like from beginning to end, she just shows that she doesn't give a shit. It's
I
like,
mean,
yeah, I'm not a hero. Fuck that.
I'm not a hero. I want to be a. And the whole thing is, if you actually look at the subcontext of the show, I'm very curious with the way they compacted it. And they did compact that show. And I think that is why, because what's funny is so the first trailers for that show were rough for it, because we know it's been in the can for nearly 2 years. We've known about Ironheart for almost at least get what, two solid years, at least 3. And I'm not saying it's a total, like, it has the problem is, okay, why is CW level writing terrible? Like, you cannot play clips because you would get copywritten to fucking hell, but my god. Like, every time you see the suit move, it is, and it's okay, like, prime example, right?
I mean, even when it's not moving, I have seen stills, and it's like
Whew.
it just looks bad. It just looks like a 360
Cosplay
game
armor
cutscene.
looked better than that shit. You can find cosplay armor that looks bad. I've seen people design cosplay 40K like Space Marine armor.
Yeah, and with
Looks
some
better than
lighting,
that shit.
it can look pretty fucking good. But nope, no can do.
But the hood, surprisingly, is a really good character. Despite, I mean, I can forgive the race swap for it. Now, what's funny is if anything is remembered from the show, okay, Slug in the comics is literally an obese monstrosity of a human being that hacks computers, and they gave that to a drag queen person.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but
What? How bad of a thing do you think they hate that person?
I don't think they thought it through. I just think they were like, yeah, what are we gonna make this character? Yeah, let's make him non-binary or whatever. Sure.
What do you mean? They gave them all sorts of stuff. You make them look bad. I mean, I swear to God, the trend of people who are supposed to be progressive, who write progressive characters, I do not know why the trend has to be you have to write them that way. Okay, so sort of. You know what I'm talking about, right? Why do progressive people write them to be miserable characters? The worst stereotypes you can think. It's crazy, isn't it? Like Slug, right? Like if you actually look at Slug, how some of these
Just think
characters,
like that,
do they think like that, or is it just a trend, do you think?
right?
I mean, they write them to be terrible. I don't know if that's intentional or it just happens. Let me see. Because the hood is okay. Look, Parker Robbins as the hood, like the guy who did the hood.
I don't know if I'd call it a trend.
What do you mean? Progressive people have
Oh,
this
they're
weird
kind of like for a
ten.
little bit.
Progressive people have this tendency to basically write the worst depictions of themselves, and they don't think it's bad.
I don't
I,
think it's like worst depictions of themselves, but more like they have to stereotype the representation they put in. But they also have to put them in and have them not be actually bad, because there would be bad representation, because that's what representation does.
like when you look at it, he looks like they also made it their entire way to literally make the character look just what is it? Say Rampage? Like it's not even the race swaps that were bad. Like it's so weird when you look at the actual characters because I guess you had to felt the main person felt they had to race swap the entire team. So it's really a
Yeah.
show that some of the sets are good. Like the guy, like Parker Robinson is a. I mean, throwing Sacha Baron Cohen as a villain, like you can just go through, and if you actually look up a lot of these characters, um, hold on, because the thing about the Hood, right? It's not really that he's a terrible villain. He isn't. There hasn't really. But the thing is, as I said, Slug is a giant fat fuck, larger than the Kingpin, but just fat and obese. That's not good representation, one would think, right?
Oh, I think you cut off for me a little bit there.
I don't know. Let me see. Where's my StreamYards cutting off? No. StreamYards, or is that still messing up, I guess? Nah, Slug is like one
Maybe.
of those. No? What's that?
It's fine now. It's fine now, but it's like just
Oh, I don't know. StreamYards is
you went
weird.
slightly roboty for like a second maybe, and the middle of the sentence cut off. But I'm not sure if that was on the stream as well or just on my end.
See. So yeah, no, I'm going to show this. A lot of the depictions, like I don't know if I would show, like honestly, I do not know if I would show Marvel. Like this is what Slug looks like in the comics. This is the role you're gonna give to a trans person or a drag queen. You see the problem? Sorter. See it or no? There sorter or no? Sorter.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not the role. This is not good representation.
Exactly.
But it doesn't ruin my immersion, okay? Like, I'm just saying. It doesn't kill my immersion? No. I mean, it's kind of like, oh no, you fuck up Guardians of the Galaxy. No, you can't really do that. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy's formula is literally this is where you take people who don't have shit going on, shove them there so they're relevant. So a lot of people are like, uh, they take the Blood Brothers, right? Uh, there's a part where they have like Ezekiel Stain, right? Or Zeke Stain is the other one, which that's Obadiah's son, has a better arc. I mean, but the show itself is like, it's a meme that writes it. And right at the end, and I think it's like they actually did a rewrite of her of
I think with his son is like uh I don't know, go on, go.
no, I was gonna say I think right at the end they have an, it looks like an older version of her where she, it can't be set in the same time period. Like I guess because she gets like that. Best way I can describe it is like that Uhura haircut from Star Trek of old. Like it's a very old, like timey, like
Yeah.
black perm look, and that you don't know the time that has passed between the, basically between the ship, the time she makes the deal with Mephisto. Because, I mean, to be honest, Mephisto's deals always have a price. It's the question of what is it? Like, it's one of those, I have to say it because, like, it's weird because it's a bait and switch. Because I think initially, and it's something you see if you see it, is the fact that there's a plot line. You know, it's probably Mephisto, but somehow he's mimicking the power of basically Dormammu. And it's like, well, if that, to me, by the end, that looks like a giant ass plot hole that somehow. Now, the problem that I will have to say, outside of the heist and that, the god awful soundtrack. Like, burn it with fire, actually. Like, okay, it's, you know how it's not rap music. It's like the worst R&B modern crap ever. It's not even like Drake or stuff like that. It's Kendrick Lamar. It's like you have to. So whoever did like the sound setting for it, the show, fuck that up too. Because there's like parts where you're trying to do something, but there's also the point where legitly Riri should have had the shit beat out of her entirely. Like John actually does it at one point, but then there's also the plot like if the guy wanted to kill her, the Parker wanted to kill her, just turn invisible and kill her when she's not in the suit. Like either you need the plot to happen
Yeah.
or like it's just you gotta ask. Like I think they tried to condense down the show. It had that almost game, okay, it had like the Game of Thrones vibe to it for the final season, if that makes sense. No, the Game of Thrones vibe.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like oh, we need to condense it down. And like
Let me
there's
check
parts
something
where I
because
think they got
I
actually no, that's where I think like a lot of the show just got to the point where they not that they phoned it in as much as parts of it like I could tell were reshoots that looked better than the original run. But everyone's criticism of the show, they're not looking at the writing or they're looking at a lot of the characters are not insufferable. What's funny is the villains are better. Like, surprisingly, the Blood Brothers, which is Blood Brothers and Sister, one played by an actual trans woman or trans man, a woman that transitioned to a man. Because the whole thing with the Blood Brothers is they're stronger when they're next to each other. That's their whole deal. If that makes sense. Their whole deal is that's
yeah.
literally their whole
Mm-hmm.
deal. Um and I can forgive people for not knowing who half these characters were. Like but there's parts of the show like
I
the
mean, it
caper.
would be better if the show actually introduced them better, I guess. If it was a good show and actually did some work introducing characters. But yeah.
No, there's parts of it I will be very honest. There's a part that gets me, and I don't understand why they did it, and I would love to know. It's like the $1 million question that would have made the show so much better. So Parker Robbins is going around getting all these philanthropists to sign contracts, right? He's supposed to be doing the bidding of either Dormammu or whatever else they think. Why wouldn't you be collecting souls from Mephisto?
Yep, exactly.
He isn't. Or it gives them power and it gives Mephisto power by proxy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So they're just signing contracts that give him ownership. Now, the part that's interesting about the show, too, is his character starts. Now, he covers up the tattoos, he covers up the like lines that he's getting. Like, it looks like massive drug veins, like he's getting every single time when he's every contract or
Yeah,
every
on his
time
back.
he gets. But it gets to his face, it gets all over him, and it's like, oh yes, those are things that magically appear every damn time too, by the way. I don't know. Have you ever seen a tattoo done in one day or overnight? Done perfectly? Like time compression in the show is it's atrocious, okay? It's the best way I can put it. Like it's not it's if it sounds weird to you sorter and anybody, it sounds weird to me. Oh, he just gets a tattoo at night. They have like hints that like John knows he made a deal with like basically the metaphorical Marvel devil. You just can't say it. It sounds weird, but the show has a half decent quality. As I said, the some of the fights that aren't Riri and some of the choreography are actually good. like when the hood comes in and like takes out people, like at one point one of the people doesn't sign the contract. He's like, "Oh, I'll just
Yeah,
leave you the fight."
it's the plot kills it.
No, but he actually, when his character goes invisible and starts beating up the security guards, the stunt choreography is good for it. I know that sounds weird in the show, but it's actually good on the heist. And I mean, it's strange to see a character actually sell it. Like some of those actors and the actresses both sell their roles well. They're just trapped in a really shitty plot. Which, but it goes on to say, like, a lot of people get criticisms of it. Like, I mean, I'm not going to take the nerd erotic line where they said you deserve reparations for getting through. But they actually phrase it in the beginning that she is going to be better than Stark and everything else. And all the people are like, no, no, she isn't doing this. No. That attitude is there. You know what I mean? It's there. You
Mm-hmm.
just
Yep.
ignore it. It's like they don't think about it. I mean, if it made sense, you'd be like, oh. But the thing is, the show is that also there's periods that it's cringe even when I watched it. It's like, it doesn't hurt my sensibilities because, look, hell, I grew up on like in living color and stuff from that era. If you never have seen how bad like the stereotypes get, they go, "Oh, yeah, I've actually seen the criticisms." They go, "You're just threatened by black people being on screen." No, that's not it. It's, I mean, I wouldn't even call that good representation. Like, my God, what was the
I mean, yeah. If it if your representation is, oh, here's a character that does just that is kind of a cunt from the start to the end, basically. Is that representation? Is that good representation?
I mean, these like, okay, in the comics, right? They do have a way because they said she's a gifted student and she's been at MIT for 5 years. There's literally a scene when she gets basically expelled from the program because it's kind of a running joke that she can't hook up power anywhere, apparently. Where she's always frying circuits or
Yep.
something like that. Which I know it sounds terrible, but that's actually, there's like weird things in the show. Like if the writing, it would be less insufferable because there's good plots, but it's also like they rushed out the 6 episodes. Because I've seen like Eric debunks was like, oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't see one episode that I said was 100% good. It's kind of, it reminds me of when I watched Velma. For every good moment, they suck the fun out of it the next. And it's pretty much, if you've ever seen,
Did Velma
like,
have good moments?
for every good joke, it was sucked out by a bad joke. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's Mindy Kaling writing, right? For every
Hmm.
good joke, you had the scene had the life sucked out of it by a terrible joke. That kind of humor, if that makes sense. And I
Maybe
mean,
two even terrible jokes per
well, to
good
be honest, that they
per
also,
one good.
from my read of like Ironheart, like parts of it, God, they were trying to queer bait her and her friend. Like, or that she's bisexual. I shit you not. Like, some of the writing, it's like, the heist, as I said, makes sense. And the lead up and the planning to the heists, they actually make sense in how you would do it. You know? But the issue itself is not that versus how they execute it.
Yeah, roughly.
And like the weirdest part about it is as well, like it's not that they go out of their way to say Riri's not a villain. There's the iron. So the dialogue for Parker's a lot better than even the. I would put like there's a part like when she's talking to multiple times when he's talking to Riri. And this is something I saw when Disparu didn't go through it. I guess it was just copyright. You don't want to be copyrighted to hell, I guess, and back kind of thing. But it's in the realm of if someone told me this was a villain origin story, how someone turned into like a villain or with becoming just a giant anti-hero versus a hero, yeah, for every glow up that she gets. Because, okay, Parker's character goes, oh, you're going to be good. But when they asked her, what good do you want to do in the world, she can never say it. So, whoever wrote this show, and apparently the writer, the creator is Chinika Hodge. Apparently, her only other, she's, I guess, was a writer on Amazing Stories, The Midnight Club, and she wrote on Snowpiercer, the television show. So, and not the Midnight Club that everyone does. That was one episode, and she wrote 10 episodes. So the idea is, it's hard to like really understand. Like, it's almost painful, cringe millennial writing. And I mean, okay, like the line, the
I mean,
meme worthy,
it is, but yeah.
the meme worthy line of the black guy of Xavier going through the window or the door, bring in stuff and go, "What up, black people?" If a white person wrote that, they would be called racist. Okay? That's not humor to me. That's like cringe. You die of cringe, basically, right? Like, there's parts of the scene where I'm just like, but then again, it's strange. It's condensed so much. Like, they should have just, if you said you had 8 episodes,
Yeah.
do that. I think they got given 8 to 10 episodes, and it got condensed and kicked out the door in 6. I mean, I can't prove it. I mean, the theory, it's just you. If you see it, you kind of understand what I'm talking about. Because sort of, you know what it is. Like you see when they try to condense it down, like you need to take 2 or 3 plot lines and shove it together. Oh, yeah, and then you learn Parker Robinson's character is the son of a philanthropist. That's the head of the Argus company, which is another company in Marvel, if you know the history or the comics. It's like,
Yeah, they just shoved a
what?
lot of things in the show without giving most of them time to develop.
I mean, I. It's the funny thing is when you talk about it, like, there's stuff that you know that are like the corporations in Marvel. It's just like the question of why do you do it? It's like, and what's funny is this is coming on the heels, supposed to be coming on, like I say, because you know the next big project. They would have been better off writing this off as they did Batgirl. I mean, as WB did that. You would have been better off. But then again, if you listen to the people who say about the show, they have to say it wasn't kicked out the door. Okay, sort of. When you hear something said, they just dumped it out. When you said my explanation of how I said they dumped it out makes sense, right? You literally were trying to dump this in 2 weeks so it would be forgotten about. I don't think they intend. And this is going to be coming on the heels of this was supposed to be the lead up to Fantastic Four. So make that make sense, right? Like, and Fantastic Four might shape up to be a lovely bomb too, because apparently Pedro Pascal is being retarded. So that's a whole can of worms if we ever go
Yep.
over that. His It's not even being the victim of being famous for the sake of being famous at this rate.
Give me a moment, by the way. I'll be right back.
Anyways, yeah, no. But yeah, no. I mean, if you go in with Ironheart not thinking anything about it, it's an entertaining show. Now, is it MCU level quality that we expect? Yes. Does it have slightly? Yes. But, oh, the plots are just good. For every good, when you think, oh, somebody's going to have a brilliant, flashing moment, it's sucked away by basically uh, dumb writing, bad plots. And I'm being polite about it. I'm just like, this would be a good plot if you just told me, like, the Hood is a weird villain to use in the first place. Because his power okay, so the Hood's basic power comes from, depending on the iteration, comes from his deals with stuff. But I could forgive people for not knowing who he is or half who he works with. And I mean, they nail him in the show. So it's. I mean, he has basically magical powers, so to speak. But his powers are different depending on the thing. So. So basically, he has like Hydra and AIM technology at some point. He's also has a magical cloak that gives him powers. He's gotten powers from Norn stones. He's had infinity gems. He's had Dormammu. See the Dormammu powers kind of thing. That's like the big deal. He's never been exactly in one place. So if you're talking about it, the show itself is also very cheap cosmetic wise. But like some of the settings that they use aren't as terrible as it appears versus it's just presentation. And sometimes CW, it feels like very bad CW writing, all honesty. And it's the best I can say. It's like, it's not because, but it is also a lot of stereotypical writing too. Because that is a problem. But it's almost really, I'll go with the as if they thought they were going to get potentially another season. And they won't. So take that for what it's worth. They may be thought they were. Because let's say hypothetically, they were given 10 episodes, maybe. If they were given 10 episodes, I could forgive them in seeing it. But it's being dumped out the door right before Fantastic Four. So you have to understand. It being dumped out the door before that, a little bit disconcerting. So it's going to be the issue itself. It's going to be easily forgotten about. And if Mephisto becomes a better villain, he gets put into the MCU. And I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen, despite the fact in the memes he needed the money post his divorce, does pull off a good Mephisto. I'll give him that. But you also never really know what his actual goals are, so. I mean, Mephisto's a weird villain to introduce. And again, you're also going to have to see, like, the whole, is he, like, he makes deals with certain people for his own gain. That's basically how he does it. Like, part of his whole reasoning for One More Day wasn't really to offer up, wasn't really to give Peter an out and take the marriage, as much as, let's say, hypothetically, it was to secure a future that he wanted for himself. I mean, the fact alone he feared Mayday Parker as an example. Interesting. But no, it's a sort of gets back. But yeah, no, it's a show that's, and I can't just explain, like, the best way you can explain it. It's just an odd show that has the world's worst. Calling it like millennial level writing is pretty nice about it, if you ask me. Like, that's a that is a very polite way, because some of the actual writing in the show is good. Like, as I said, some of the fight scenes. I just wish her only Riri suit that looks good, the only Iron Man suit in the whole show that looks good is the final suit. Everything else looks like cheap cosmetics. Again, I actually watched it. And I'm like, surely the people are embellishing it. No. If anything, they downplay because you don't die of induced cringe. But at this point, I am pretty numb to. I am totally numb to a lot of things like this. And as I said, if it's a good popcorn show, then yes. Is it a good idea to show a little bit? Because they don't necessarily explain either about the contracts. But then again, the writers themselves probably don't know about the things as well. Because I think they went into that show thinking they could probably get away with it. But it got kicked out the door, and it has some good potential plots if they ever wanted to introduce it to a greater MCU universe. But hypothetically, it's going to go nowhere. Because part of the whole thing with Mephisto is he gains power. His whole thing is when he holds souls, he gains power. Now, in reality, is that a better idea for a villain down the line? I mean, because supposedly Secret Wars is around the corner, so. I guess those power cells are up. I guess you're not back yet, Sawyer, are you? Yes, Don's, yeah. Yeah, the enjoying the ride is the part of the show. Like, plot happens for plot's sake, okay? It makes no sense. So, like, prime example. They do the heist where the one person dies. So Zeke Stone's character, right? He tells her he doesn't want to get caught with anything. But she's going to take a laser to skin. Magically, in 24 hours, they go and arrest him. Because they identify fingerprints, he gets thrown in jail. And that's like, what, episode 4? 3 into 4? I mean, I doubt highly, a tech genius that, or a tech person that steals or has black market goods has his fingerprints on everything. No, that ain't gonna happen. I'm just saying, like, there's these weird plots where they build the Iron Man suit. She has her Iron Man suit destroyed. Actually, crash lands first. one fight has it nearly ripped up, like, and then she's fixing it. Like, oh, you just manufacture that inside of a kitchen in 6 hours. No, this doesn't work. It's a crazy thing because it's like, I think it was slated. It had to have been slated for 10 episodes. At least. But the problem itself is if this is the writing we're going to get going into Fantastic Four. Now, Fantastic Four has more rumors about it than we actually think. But then again, everyone's basically waiting for Fantastic Four. Because the issue with Fantastic Four is going to be how they're going to execute the plot. Because supposedly it's female empowerment. Get it? The female Silver Surfer? Yeah. Supposedly the ending is Sue Storm saves the day, basically. With a female Silver Surfer and either a young Franklin Richards or another. But then again, that's based on more rumors, but it may not happen at all. Because the rumors about swirling about Fantastic Four is it's going to be a subversion. It's not going to be 100% close to telling. But Ironheart, though, did have later rewrites and reshoots. But Fantastic Four, this was supposed to be the lead up to it. Because the marketing, the funniest part about... welcome back, Sorter.
You?
Yeah. See, Sorter, you're getting what I'm saying, right? Because it's not good writing. Because I'm not wrong. It seemed like they wanted to kick it out the door, right?
Yeah, it does seem like in various spots it kind of got condensed down, like plot lines got merged.
Because you're getting what I'm describing, right? It's kind of like, I think they gave them about 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
They gave them probably about 10 episodes. We got about 6 episodes in. We only got 6. And because there's plots in there that I feel should be longer than they actually are.
Definitely. Give me a second.
Because there's good actual plots in there. Like him being the son of basically a philanthropist of Argos. And he just wanted to sabotage. Because in the end, his whole plan was to take the money from his father to become rich and powerful. And the reason why he's turning into an ugly demonic form is not the reason people think, because it's just a part of Mephisto's wish being granted. And that's par for the course for the story. It's a little strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Mm. Yeah, but it's a strange thing because you saw probably more the cliff notes when people went over it because
I saw like a few cliff notes and a couple of reviews, like including some screenshots
well,
and
see,
that
the
stuff.
thing about it is, what's funny is normally when you see like people review it, like they said all the reviewers and the Chud reviewers were just hating on it. No, the show is just as bad as they said. The humor is cringe.
Yep.
And I don't, as I said, don't get me started on the soundstage quality of it. The
Yeah.
oh
Soundstage.
the music that they put into the scenes takes you out of it entirely. It doesn't match the setting.
I mean, it's like a mostly hip hop, right? Or modern hip hop.
It's modern hip hop, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
periods where I think they shot it together. Like there's literally a scene where when they first get paid, they're just spraying money everywhere, and it's a montage. It's as bad as the review said. It is
Yeah.
cringe.
I
It's
did. I did read
worse.
that
It's
it.
literally worse.
There were like quite a few montages for some reason.
And like there's a whole theme through the entire show. She complains about being told she's going to be small. She invents a literal impenetrable barrier. She doesn't give it out to companies. She invents a neuro AI. She doesn't try to get it patented. She has all these good inventions. And then the only realization comes towards the end when it's like, I was thinking to myself, the only good parts of the show are when characters are confronted and they actually own up to what they do. Because, like, there's multiple parts where the hood basically says to her, "You're not iconic. Like, why do you want the suit?" She can't say the reason she wants it. Like, she tells uh, Xavier why he did it, why she wants to do the suit, because it's the like it was what her like what the stepfather said, just because he
Yeah.
could build a car.
And didn't she specifically say multiple times that it's not because she likes, suits or is interested in them. It's because, of her stepdad.
That is supposed to be like, but the plot consistency doesn't stay.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, one of the best characters in the entire show is Clown.
Clown is the
That's the
black
one
one.
that does
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
explosive. Yeah, that's the one that does explosive.
Well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be right back though. One sec.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I gotta go for a little bit too. Nookie, I'm back. Oh.
But see, I think I'd give the show more credit because I have a feeling that that show was either finalized or done in development right around when they were working on or in post production of She-Hulk.
Yeah, it is likely, yeah.
Because some of the humor, if you saw what people criticize She-Hulk for, is in there.
I can see that, yeah.
Let me see, when was it? And it's not as bad because let me see, when did they do She-Hulk? 22. So if that's been in the can for 2 years,
2.5, or so, yeah.
supposedly Ironheart's been in a can for 2 years.
I mean, it does look like it would have to be, especially with like if they did condense it down.
Let me say, let's see if there's any articles. When did they start filming? Okay, so Ironheart finished filming in early November of 22. Wow.
Yeah, and it started in summer of 22. So yeah.
If it's been done since that, we're talking almost 3 years.
I'm not. Yeah. Then what you said about it being reshot or rewritten, but like condensed or something like that. It does make
And
sense.
I guess what She-Hulk was, She-Hulk came out August 18 through October of 22. Yeah, no. That's what I said. I think those two series were linked.
Yeah, it says. Well, actually, that is AI, so I shouldn't fucking trust it. But
No,
it says
I was
it
actually
was
looking at
scheduled
official
for a
article.
late 2023 release.
No, I was looking at the article that said it was filmed in October. No, it was at least everyone said it was pretty much done in 22. Actually, when did they announce Ironheart? See, the series was announced in 2020. December of 2020.
Oh yeah, when they had the roadmap, the whole fucking whole
Yes,
was
the whole
released.
rolling map, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, I just can't think of I'm not trying to be mean about the show, but dear God, what were they expecting or something with it? Like, okay, clearly they should know this isn't gonna look good going into what? Going into Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
You're hoping this show gets buried. You have to be hoping that the show gets buried. And I mean, what? Okay, what rumors have you heard about Fantastic Four? Like, besides the controversy over Pedro Pascal being Pedro Pascal.
Um, I haven't really been keeping my ear to the ground on that, to be honest. I don't have much hope. So,
What, for that one?
in general, for the new Fantastic Four.
I mean, it looks promising to a degree.
Eh, I'll we'll have
Reserve.
to see.
Well, you mean you reserve judgment like everybody else does until the movie releases.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if I am positively surprised, that's good. But I'm not expecting much.
Well, I'm not going to take the whole Eric debunks view of life, and he goes, "I don't pay attention to stuff, but he acts like a gay activist the entire way." But he's like, "I don't do that, but I will look into things, and I'll go with the floor." The only reason I don't have a more of it's tolerable is there's actual like decent parts to Ironheart, but it's kind of like all those parts get forgotten about because the show is terrible. And like you think it's like going to be a decent plot. It's just a heist of the week going from a heist going to another thing, right? But then it gets to that point where you're like, why are you doing this? But it becomes predictable like that. Like, even the fight scene, like one of the fight scenes towards the end where it gets drawn out that he's like, oh, well, we need to kill her because she killed John, which John was about to cave her head in because she didn't do what she needed to do because he's been killing off loose ends. So, and the fight scene, yeah. There's also the weird, like, I don't know why you phrase a series or any scene where, to be honest, she's literally like, if she's 5'4", I would be shocked. If, and you see her like next to a character, like if you see her next to like one, and there's multiple times of where she is trying to talk shit to John's character. So like John King's character, right? Very well acted. He's just trying to protect his friend, basically. Is how it works out through the entire show. She's like stepping up to him, and he is like at least 4 to 5 inches taller than her. And that's not a good idea. And when they actually finally fight, like if it worked for like oxygen running out, she by all rights should have just been beaten to death.
Oh yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like literally in the scenes, like there's parts. It's just a show. It's not going to age well, or it's going to be forgotten about, basically. But yeah, just understand, most people don't hate it because it's not like, oh, my chuds don't like it. No. I mean, Sorter, you saw some of the stuff I did through the thing, but I actually watched it. It's literally millennial level humor cringe. And you can't even say it's not for us. I don't know who the show's demographic was for.
That is a question for many shows and games in general these days.
Games and
Like,
shows both.
yep. Like, who is it made for?
You know what? How I actually started picking up on some of the cringe from I think one of the writers, because the show has meta humor in it.
Oh.
Yeah. Like there's Spy Kids jokes in there too.
Oh yeah, I think they reference like um, Bill Gates and some at least like real life figures like billionaires at the start too, right?
I wouldn't say why would you not have Bill Gates in the universe, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like it was more like, oh, Riri's gonna be like one like Bill Gates or someone like that. I think I have a screenshot specifically because where is it?
Well, everyone said that's how you alienate your audience in like 5 minutes or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but then again, everyone's like, you can't. They call that disingenuous, apparently. No, I don't look at that as disingenuous. I look at that as that's not a way you're going to sell your show.
Yep.
And the problem is Disney needs to stop bleeding money. Apparently, they don't bleed enough money.
I don't think they're gonna stop bleeding anytime soon, to be honest. It's gonna take a while.
Well, what projects? But this goes into the deeper problem of like I know of somebody like there's people who actually want like the Batgirl movie released. That movie was canceled when it was in the can. So you can get the idea that they wrote that off. Then again, DC did release. They should have probably canned the Flash and got rid of it, but they chose to release it. Let's go to the second topic, but yeah, no. Yeah, Ironheart, yes, don't be aware. Don't the people go, oh, it's just the chuds that hate it. No. The writing, it's something if you witness it yourself, you wouldn't believe it. I don't have faith in modern writers. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at the point right now with TV shows, just don't. If you can't pull it off, don't touch it. Quite literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think there are that many people that can pull off much these days. To be honest, it doesn't seem like it.
What do you mean the level of writing cringe?
Yeah. On a not just cringe. It's like even if it wasn't cringe, it's just incompetent in general, even beyond the cringe and the ideological stuff.
Even if you separate the ideologue stuff from the base, I still think you probably would see it.
Yep.
I mean, but there's no excuse for half of that stuff. Like, are you writing a superhero show? Like, there's parts where someone actually like writes her taking a loss and it works. But then there's the part where she has a self realization that there's literally an awkward scene, and I do not know if they realized they captured it brilliantly. She walks in, talks to a stuffed animal, then it's that literal moment that does she realize she's a villain?
Oh yeah. She definitely doesn't.
That it sinks in that she is a villain.
Yeah.
And as I said, there's dialogue. The dialogue is pure cringe. And by the way, God bless anybody who actually went through that show.
I mean, if I had the time, I would have probably gone through it.
Oof.
But yeah.
It's one of those. I'm not sure if that show is memory hold. There is so many look, they wasted. If that is supposed to be the appearance of Mephisto, you just wasted it.
Yeah, they probably did. And she was like, "Who? What?"
Well, the thing about it is, the role will be like, was it crossover that Superman does, where CW would do with all the crossover shows, or the
Yep.
multiverse event, and then that's how they introduced the new Superman show, where he gets henpecked and cucked by Lois. And then they go, oh, well, that's supposed to be your new Superman. That's
Isn't that the male power
that's a good
fantasy?
intro into your character. I mean, hell, if anyone remembers that, if you remember that, shit.
I'd only watched like a very small portion of it. So no.
I forgive people for not watching a lot of CW shows. For good reason.
Yep.
That brings us a second topic. So, the second topic. Nexus mods being sold. Now, I feel this is a long time coming, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Nexus mods, the same guy has owned that since what? Whenever, man. I'm older than you, but I'm older than I've known. Like, that's the same guy that's been running Nexus mods. Now, what came out about that, I know if it's an old story, we still use, Nexus mods, surprisingly, right? Like, you talked about the thing with Arch and people got onto him. Look, there were black. I still brought this LG, and LG's black, and I think I go, yeah, they literally removed a whole Queen of Spades, like fetish outfit. Like, yeah, that's a little.
I mean, it's weird.
Said that was too much.
It is weird, but it's like, if they are gonna allow good mods, if they should allow good mods, it technically should allow that too. Even if it's even if it is.
Let's be honest. CBB mods aren't as that cringe, okay?
Oh yeah, but it's like,
come on.
I am with Arch on that. It's like,
you know as well as I do. That is too far.
I mean, Are they like the opposite?
Okay, before we get into that
Mods?
part, the reason why I think he sold it is he owned it for so long. Like, I think he sold it just out of sheer. It wasn't to be because of reasons. Now, I disagree with like Arch's view that there was an ideological slant. Supposedly, he had been letting people run it, a mod team run it for a while.
That is usually how that happens.
It's kind of like he basically let Redditor mods or Discord mod styles in, but he still retained ownership of it.
Yeah, it's like, I guess Moot would be kind of different because he had more control over 4chan, but he definitely had let Janny's run loose, even even before he left and sold it. I'm saying it because it's like, let's say, kind of a similar scenario. Something that one person created was around for many years, and then he sold it off.
Well, the idea, right? Nexus mods is still a pretty safe area for mods. Even if some of the adult mods, you can't even get them there. You actually have to go to other sites to get them if you wanted them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But the allegations that he was a progressive guy, you can't really say that because you've not really ever heard much from it. If he had basically started that site and then let basically moderators start picking content that could stay there or stuff that didn't violate policy, they always had an age restriction on even Fallout mods. You had to log in with your own age or make up an age.
Yeah. I guess that's not too surprising for a more modern site. I don't know when the age restriction started, to be honest. I don't think it was always there.
I don't think it was always there, but let's be clear.
Because I remember using it like
let's be clear. How many people actually wanted to see? Well, okay. The only reason I think the CBB mod gets used in Fallout because it is the only like body. It is a base of all body mods for Fallout 4.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even have an idea what the fuck the CBB mod is.
Well, that's not the full name of it.
I guess it's like a little bit sexia mod, something like that. I assume. Oh, you said bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
CBB. Oh, Calienda's beautiful bodies. Okay.
Yeah, that is a mod. That is a base mod for. That is a base mod for every single mod ever for bodies, basically. Yeah, the more you know.
Yeah. Right. To be honest, like
most people don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I haven't played much of Fallout 4. Definitely haven't modded it. But if I did, I would mostly like do guns. Like 40k stuff. It does have power armor, so
But yeah, no, Nexus mods being sold. But then again, were they really around? Were they? But you have to actually answer. It's hard to answer the question 100% as well. Who is responsible for the decay of Nexus mods? Because it begs the question. Sorry, that it begs the question: who is actually responsible for a lot of the stuff we were seeing out of Nexus mods?
I would assume that would be Jenny's, but God knows.
Well, it would make sense. It's been the janitors or the Discord equivalent moderators there.
Yep.
Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, it does make sense. It would be that at least.
I mean,
But,
don't you
yeah.
trust? Don't you trust Reddit moderators?
Oh yeah. All Jannies are good. They definitely like Jannies.
It's literally the same ones. It kind of reminds me of a story I actually heard because someone tried to point out about see, apparently there's YouTube bots. Basically, there's YouTube bots posting CP on things or Discord links to it. So people went over there to actually.
Wait, Discord bots posting
There
CP?
was actually
YouTube
YouTube
bots.
bots posting that inside stuff, right?
Oh, how
And
the fuck?
and so someone tried to get this out of the tell YouTube about it, and then a YouTuber actually lost their actual account over it. Oh, they lost their Discord account. They tried to tell Discords about it. It was going on.
And it is definitely against Discord TOS. I'm pretty fucking sure.
And apparently they said they actually they'll actually get people to spam them with the stuff so you can't, it will get you banned too. But apparently these links were getting into YouTube basically. So YouTube has a new wave of far worse stuff, I guess.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to elaborate it. Then again, I don't click weird links.
Yeah, nobody should. Especially if it's from
YouTube
something that looks like a bot.
Yeah, look, we all know Telegraph is a legit source, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
What? Is that an era that has long been forgotten yet? Not. No, apparently the only reason I bring that up is there's moderators in Discord there's various people in Discord try to report this and they got their stuff banned. So I guess you're whatever taboo, I guess you're okay with it, right?
I think it might be because Discord is kind of weird about stuff that technically breaks rules. They might just sometimes like ban an entire server worth of people for like even if there is something on your server and you report it, you might just get your entire server banned, or at least like the admin and mods.
But it would go into why Nexus mods decayed as well. Because you have to be tolerant of. So the question you would have is, when are you tolerant? How tolerant are you of people's fetishes and weird things? Even if only 5 people get the mod.
I guess it would be like, yeah, it would depend on the owner, I guess, and the admin team, Jannies, etc.
And clearly, you don't want anything that would violate actual cyber laws.
Yeah, nothing illegal, obviously, but yeah, the stuff like that does happen.
And that's the issue. A lot of people didn't talk about specifically what had been going on with Nexus mods for a while. I mean, the guy may have been trying to sell it for the longest time while he could get money out of it. Because I think Arch and them was like, it was like, oh, there's going to be things. I'm like, Nexus Mods is still the best mod site for it.
Yeah, there's no other site that is, as large of a mod library, I guess. Oh, yeah, let's call it that.
What do you mean, for all games?
um, not generally all games, but it was at least like Bethesda stuff at the start, and it is still pretty fucking big for many other games now.
And what's the only other one that I can think of? Like, there's a few that are very similar to it, but not many. But then again, I remember when a lot of the fandom forums, I think, got taken over. I think it's by Curse.
What?
There's the people who own the fandom wikis is pretty much a lot of people who bought the rights to the fandom wikis. All it's one company as well.
Yeah. Because they had bought Wikia or something. Was that at the start? Had changed later to fandom, I think. Could be talking out my ass now, but I do think that is how it happened.
I'm actually kind of curious now because I kind of remember because it's the ones that own all of the fandom sites pretty much now. But I can't think of the name of the company off the top of my head. But then again, the people who supposedly bought Nexus mods,
TPG?
that bought the fandom.
Yeah, that's what it says, at least.
Yeah, TPG, yeah. Like, they were. Yeah, like the fandom, but there's also, I want to say it was a. Yeah, no, it was Curse. It was originally on different.
And then it was bought by TBG later on.
Yeah, see, Twitch owned by Amazon purchased Curse. And finally, Fandom acquired TCG Salvation and a bunch of others and other Curse media properties in 2018. See, that's a little bit of weird lore on the internet when you realize all wikis, the fandom wikis, are the same one.
I mean, it does make sense. It's like Blogspot or stuff like that. It was just one owner.
I'd have to find it. Like, a lot of people started looking into them to see what their policy was. Chosen is a gaming growth and monetization gaming startups. But it's funny, I've never heard of them before.
Chosen.
Mm-hmm. We acquire, we amplify,
We conquer. Yeah. That is kind of weird.
I guess. No limits, no solutions.
This almost sounds like gaming crypto bro stuff.
It does. It looks like a gaming crypto pro thing. But supposedly people actually had the thing where found them where they were like talking about DEI practices and stuff, what they were looking for.
Yeah.
It's one of those things we would actually have to see how if Nexus Mods lives or just dies by its own thing. But it's still going to be a hold on. So supposedly here it is. Arch found this one. But they're apparently a firm. The firm I don't know. Some people like this idea, other people don't. If you're about monetizing games, I mean, technically, what do you mean you farm it out, right? I look like right here. This is the model, so people are like, maybe they might be like DEI company by nature, or like some what do they call those companies? Not like BlackRock. What do you call companies like them? Venture capitalists?
Yeah. Investment companies, I guess.
They're like the ones that they back stuff.
Yep. They acquire or like some portion of another company, and basically have that use that as a, you know, for that company to use that capital as a, investment, and then, well, then they have some control over said company.
See, Victor Folman. So, I mean, if you look at it, I don't know if it's going to work. Does it say anything about him? Some of his history. I mean, the idea, let's say he sold it, right? But this is the model, I guess. And see, Nexus Mods is still going to be the source. It says play to earn, microtransactions, subscription models. Are you a game consulting service, right?
Yep.
Primary organizations is chosen. He's out of Denmark. Chosen's in gamers class. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Nexus Mods. I don't think it means Nexus Mods is gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so either. Unless something major happens.
You gotta really fuck over a base.
Yeah, all multiples of them.
If one thing's true, gamers don't really change much in their game habits.
Yeah, and for most of them, Nexus is kind of convenient.
It's too convenient, and it's usually virus free.
Yep.
So, being virus free and everything, you are basically going to wind up being like, if you're that's at least enough to have trust. I mean, we're still going to use it. I mean, unless they go full censorship. It's the only way we would stop using it. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to watch that because this year. Because, I mean, again, no one's ever heard of Chosen.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it before.
No.
Before that, at least, yeah.
I mean, a venture capitalist. But a lot of people are worried they're going to start monetizing the stuff. So
yeah, that could probably kill it if they did that.
I mean, you mean that will kill it? You say?
Yeah, if they basically forced mods to be monetized, yeah. Granted, I don't think they will do that, but yeah.
Oh, I mean, I could see them doing it. But I think that's just the end of the community if they do that.
Yeah, that is what I mean. If they do that, then I don't think they will have too long left.
I mean, another mod site will just replace them.
Yeah.
I mean,
it will be like I know, like if Twitch actually did something that was, like actually blocked most of the people that use it now from using it, then it would just die.
Oh, isn't Twitch kind of fucked over anyways?
I mean, it is, but not entirely. It still has people. It still has, people streaming there, people watching. It is probably down, I would assume. But
I'm sorry, what? Did you not get the memo? Did you not get the memo that Hassan pointed a Glock at the screen to threaten somebody the other day?
yeah, you mean that? I mean,
What?
if Twitch dies because of that, that would be fucking funny. I mean, I like Twitch. I liked Twitch 10 years ago. But if that is how it dies, goddamn, it will be funny.
And then everyone
Because
is like, I actually had to go look up and educate myself with what does an airsoft Glock look like, and what does a is there a difference between an airsoft Glock and a normal Glock? Yes, there is. But
the
yeah,
truth is,
it's a controversy. But my friend Renowned did a YouTube video on it. Surprisingly, I literally look at it because I go, it doesn't look like an airsoft. And before he moved it, he cleared the chamber. So I'm like, dipshit, you really did this. Because there was been.
I
See,
mean, it could be like a realistic airsoft, but it is unlikely. Granted, it is. He does live in
why
California.
you don't clear a chamber like that unless it's a real gun.
Eh, yeah, but
Especially I don't want to be mean. I could be meaner about this whole story on that one. What if he didn't clear the chamber and accidentally?
um, I can't say what I wanted to say there, but
I can't either.
uh, it would be funny. Yeah, let's leave it at that. It would be funny.
Folks, this is why when the rest of the world realizes Americans don't have gun safety. Yes, we do. We teach gun safety. You don't point. You don't point at when you're cleaning a weapon. Look down the barrel or anywhere near.
Yeah, in general,
Like
you
what
shouldn't point
Hassan
the
did.
gun at yourself. Even
Yes,
if it doesn't have any fucking bullets in it, even if it's not loaded, even if it's just don't point
you
it.
don't know
Just
if there
don't.
was you don't know if there was a round left in there. You have no idea. But no, Twitch apparently let Hassan get away with that, and people go, but haven't people been banned for this?
For much less.
Self harm, and everything else.
It's not even self-harm. He was pointing it at the screen. It was a threat.
A threat. Threat? You call that a threat?
It was supposed to be, yeah. I mean, as much of a threat as a Californian pointing a gun at you is. A Californian soy boy. But yeah.
Okay, is he? No, but seriously, that like violates so many TOSs, yet he doesn't get banned.
I mean, at some point, they will either just have to permanently ban him or accept that they have just fuck
They
their
have
website.
a monster on their hands for no reason.
I mean, God, his uncle must be paying them a lot of money.
Okay, no. Apparently, was it Clancy that owns them? Apparently has praised them.
Yeah, but like, there's no way you don't see that, and you see that and don't see that it is such a fucking liability. He has made interviews with actual terrorists.
I know this sounds like a weird tangent we're going on, but it goes back into companies being retarded. Trust me.
Yeah.
How Twitch stays functional. I think the only reason they cracked down on Hassan was because of the fact with denims in them, it's because of how all that was handled. Because remember, Tectone got banned for barely doing anything.
Yep.
But then again, you have, and what was it? Because who was the guy who used to stream on Twitch and YouTube? He would have freakouts. He would break his keyboard. Had issues himself and pay for it. They banned him on Twitch, and I think they allowed him back eventually.
Breaks his keyboard. That is a lot of streamers.
No, this was one in particular. Starts with like Diller, or starts with a D or whatever. The way he knows. And
is it
they
Tyler
banned him, and they actually banned him for self-harm. Okay.
Yeah.
They banned him for self-harm. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And Hassan gets away with what he did. Enough said. On that one.
Yeah, he has been getting in that sense, he's kind of like a Twitch thought. He gets special treatment.
Bro, he gets more treatment than Twitch thoughts.
Considering they have not banned some of them that well, they banned one streamer that had sex on stream. Oh, BRB for a minute.
What do you mean? No, Twitch has standards. No, but seriously, it goes back to about a little bit transition about companies. Twitch and its look, Twitch is like a company. It's like hell. There's a story going around YouTube right now about it's not just the bot issue in reality. It's because it's not even the bot issue on YouTube that is the one of the theoretical issues on the platform right now. It goes to the bots promoting things. To be pretty honest, the idea of it, it's probably not the end of the world, but it's close. It's like, at what point? Do you understand it? At what point? See, the big, like, at what point does Twitch, like, I know Twitch does not operate at a profit. Who are we fooling? Who are we fooling? What? Do you think Twitch operates at a profit?
No, I was agreeing with that. It doesn't.
You don't think Amazon owns that? It
What?
does. Amazon owns it.
Yeah, I know. It has owned
Crazy,
Twitch
crazy, isn't it?
for a long time, and it has been going downhill since Amazon bought it.
I'm sorry. What you wanna insult? You wanna insult Twitch? You know what you
Oh
call
yes,
it? You know what you call Twitch? Okay, what was Twitch's name prior to
Justin Live
Justin
and
TV?
Justin TV. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin TV, right?
Yep. I have watched streams even from back then. That's when I started watching streams, pretty much. Granted, it was
Great.
a vastly different website back then, but yeah.
And the whole thing, it goes into companies. Like, apparently, it's something I don't know. I have to do a little more research into it. So, Google's about, well, see, with YouTube, they're going to start cracking down on, so they're going to start cracking down on channels that don't transform.
Yeah, I heard that.
You heard that?
Yep, heard that. Supposedly clip channels might get targeted.
Well,
Clip channels that,
hey,
or React channels or stuff like that. That just
well,
like. Mm.
what do you mean? Well, I think it's going to be funny, though. Okay, so in reality, if now you know what's going to be more devastating, though, if it does go through,
What?
what do you think happens if the Ethan Klein lawsuit goes through?
After, well, if he will win or not, you mean? Or in general with YouTube?
What happens if it goes through and it gets through?
Well, there is a good chance that he will win. Or,
Well, okay, so what
well,
we're
at least,
talking about, if anyone sees us in the future, we're talking about the Ethan Klein lawsuit that hasn't fully been gone through against Denham's and
yeah,
Hassan.
I know.
I'm saying this for the sake of people who see this later.
Mm-hmm.
And it will that be a precedent case, you think?
Yeah, it very well could be if he does win.
What do you mean, like Carl? Well, I mean, React channels have been. Well, it's like you've seen a little bit of the people I've sent you, like with Tony and them. They've been walking that fine line for a while.
It's not
I've
even a
seen
while,
people
it's
in
a long
CG.
time.
I've seen people in CG. They're like, we don't have to do anything. Like Katie did. Her channel got a strike from somebody because she didn't even try to transform a clip.
Yeah. That is the thing. If in one case that is, let's say, that might be good, but it could be good if it was used fairly, and they didn't go overboard, which I assume they will. To be honest,
Well,
it is YouTube.
okay. The problem is, can it become policy?
Mm.
That's what you gotta ask. If
I
it
think it
becomes
can, but it will have it will get a lot of backlash.
backlash if it does.
Yeah.
What are you talking
So
about?
they might just reverse it.
Are
If
you talking about? Are you talking about YouTube did not pay the price for actually depending on it, and because that's actually no. Because if that goes through and he is dead serious about this, now it is funny. By the way, I gotta give Hassan credit. He is at least being an honest communist or socialist. He's not helping out his friends.
oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
He's letting them hang out and die on the vine.
I mean, I don't think realistically, I'm not even sure how he would be able to help them because
Pay
the
for a
only way.
lawyer for them. It goes into
Well, yeah,
trying
but like
on.
the thing is, it's not like they don't have money, but he has way more.
Art. I'm just saying, isn't the rumor that how much money do you think Denims makes?
I'd assume it is more than I'd like it to be, but
I mean, we're talking about Hassan orbiters here.
yeah, I know. But Hassan, I know, makes a fuck ton of money.
Actually, technically, Asmongold actually started out to him and got really pissed off.
Yep. But yeah, I expect that. I assume that at least Denims can, and maybe Frogan can live off of the streams. I don't know. I don't know actually how many views they get.
You mean Frogan?
Yeah.
Like what's so funny about all of Hassan's mods that got into trouble. The ironic part is Ethan Klein is suing all the women, and the biggest thing is it's kind of like the what is it, Carl Joss lawsuit, right? That got him in trouble.
Yep.
They're dead to rights, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a because during that content nuke, they were like, we don't have to acknowledge everything you do. Now, in theory, when you have that lawsuit, I have to do more research on and see when people go over it because I know Legal Mindset went over it, but his is not trademark lawsuit. But there's enough meat there because they were stupid and they said we were going to use it without giving him views.
Yep. They
But
did
what's
specifically
funny,
say that.
but you know what's funny about this though? He added the Reddit moderators potentially to the case
Yeah, I read something about that.
to
I
subpoena
think.
them, which will be funny because if anyone
Yeah.
knows anything about Reddit, Reddit is managed by the same like 200 people, and they have links in Discord.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Crazy. That's how wide reaching this case is. because he put them as to subpoena them as witnesses.
I hadn't looked at too much into it, but I had seen someone specifically reference that there were Reddit mods in the
What is it?
case.
The snark Reddit or whatever they call themselves. Well, it's kind of like I deal with some Redditeers with the Comicsgate people. Oh my god, no. Those people need to stay off. Like, they need to just focus on what they do. But yeah, I think the only other topic is we can get into the Stop Killing Games initiative. Actually, I remember when Stop Killing Games came out, I was surprised it's still going on. Now, what's funny about it is, in a way, the only reason. Actually, I gotta check. Did they actually meet their signatures?
The 1 million? Yeah, they did originally.
Now, unfortunately, they do have to thank. You do have to thank
Full.
Pirate Software for crashing
Pirate
out.
software. Yep.
You gotta thank him for crashing out, right?
Yeah, if he hadn't,
No.
there wouldn't have been that much attention on it.
Well,
So,
okay. I get what he was trying to do. I really do. But he was taking it, I think part of his argument, I remember when he kind of initially did it a long time ago, and it was against the whole like. So taken to the extreme, companies have to maintain the servers, right?
yeah, the thing is, this Stop Killing Games is specifically not retroactive. So it would be for newer games.
But my thing is, why would you not, uh, like, why would you actively not, like, okay, if you're not going to make money on the source code, why would you not have it out?
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, there is maybe there are assets there that maybe the company doesn't want to release, but in any case, you could probably throw something placeholder or try and patch it with a one final update and then make it so it is playable or people can use it afterwards.
Because, of course, the case that kicked that off was the crew.
Yep. And there was like also I think well like I think Forza Horizon a year or so ago, maybe something like that. There were like
Well,
a few games pretty much that went offline.
well, it's not that, like, okay. Like, there's an active group that maintains, like, I don't know if they do it to this day, it's the same group. There was a group of people maintaining Star Wars Galaxies.
Yep.
Like, what's funny to me, actually, is like how much of stuff is just open source now. Like, basically, to me, Command and Conquer, largely, like, we see stuff like that. That's practically open source now. If you know what I mean.
Yep, I know. It's, I mean, it should be in many cases. Like, if you're not making money out of it, if you're not keeping it upkeeping it, it's like, just, you know, leave it. Just let the people fucking use it.
I mean, and the thing in Stop Killing Games is, yeah, that's the path. I think that is the path that I really do think that's the path that you're going to start to see live service games go. Oh, but someone has to host the server. Right?
Yep.
But Pirate Software was like, oh, but they're going to have to maintain it and all this other stuff. I don't think that was the claim that Stop Killing Games was making. What at least even though your side of the world has a lot of totalitarian dickheads.
It does have some good consumer laws.
Yeah, it's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Very good consumer laws. Because there's times even YouTube has tried to like kick a person off and they actually got their account back.
Yep.
Because
It is
YouTube could not justify the reason.
yeah, with a lot of bad, a lot of bad. Comes some good at least. But yeah.
That's okay. I mean, you're talking it's going to be funny, but I understand the concept. But like, if a game can be open sourced unless it's protected or something, are you going to tell me that it's not? Like, if something is old enough, it might as well be open source because I had to have the conversation with my friend about because Monolith is gone in theory.
Yep.
Do you know what was Monolith famous for? What did
Wait,
they
what?
hold? What did Monolith hold?
Oh, quite a few games, wasn't it?
No. What did they have the patent to?
Oh, was it the system from Middle Earth, Shadow of War?
They have the Nemesis system.
Yeah, the Nemesis system. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now tell me that ain't a mind fuck. And technically, the only reason they never marketed out so supposedly the reason they never marketed out the Nemesis system was because they kept the copyright to it. Which I will say the Nemesis system potentially did stay together for a while.
Yeah, and it was a relatively decent idea. But hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, isn't it?
It sure is.
But yeah, no, a lot of these are just you're at the point of see, stop killing games. Like the guy actually probably did screw up. Like pirate, but then again, I think it's because there's something going on in gaming YouTube as well. I do think if something is open source, it should be free. But
Oh
someone do
yeah,
something with it because
like
strangely
I
enough,
don't I do like if let's say a game as like a publisher stops updating a game or keeping the servers up and they release the game code as open source, you shouldn't be able to make money out of it. Nobody else should after that point.
I mean, what isn't like? I mean, isn't it like the greatest sin of Sega and Nintendo?
Yep.
They're like, we have so many fucking IPs that can make money. They just sit on it till they lose the source code.
Yep.
The theory I go with why we're never going to see Bloodborne on PC is because I think they lost the source code in one of the Sony hacks.
Had the code gone leaked?
Well, in one
I'm
of
not sure.
do you remember which one it was? I want to think it was the North Koreans that hacked it. Just they threatened to release like I think one of like was like around the. I want to say it was around the time they did the Sony. Yeah, because the Sorry, I'm just think. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think it was around the time when the hackers threatened to release the one of the Spider-Man films early. They talked about the Bloodborne source code was going to be either leaked or
Yeah, I do. I do remember
ransomed.
something like that.
I remember it, and I'm like, but the rumor actually, the other rumor is they said they lost the source code.
The thing is, Bloodborne as a game is not really that much different from, let's say, Dark Souls 3. It's probably built upon the mostly the same code. So I don't think it would be that much of a problem, even if they actually lost it completely.
Because
Like
yeah,
if you
like
look at let's say Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, they are
pretty
essentially the
similar.
same game.
Was it going to be similar?
Not even just similar. It's like the engine is basically the same.
Okay, how much do you say Dawnbreaker or Dawn Walker? No, what's the well? Oh yeah, no, that's funny by the way, because a lot of stuff is live service. Because everyone said what happens when they stop funding a server.
Hmm. What game were you trying to say previously? Like
Hmm?
something about Dawn Breaker?
I think it's Dawn Walker. It's not
Dawn
Dawn
Walker?
Walker. Dawn. It's actually the funny part about it is the only sequel people are going to be getting for Dusk Bloodborne is the Bloodborne game being released for Switch 2. That one.
Yeah. And oh god, that's not gonna be great.
What? The
I
Switch
I,
2 controversy that.
I do not trust the Switch 2 to play a PS4 game properly.
Well,
Like,
apparently, From Software did get that. But usually the question, though, is yeah, in the initiative, wouldn't it make sense, as I said, just release it as a. Literally just release it as open source. Like I'm surprised CNC an early unless you're planning to re-release it. I mean, you die with the IP holder. It's kind of like Nemesis Engine got trademarked, and they technically own the trademark until like 35 or 36.
yep. I guess it's like they also, I guess, if it is a, you know, like a studio company, whatever, it is also kind of an asset, at least. They might see it that way, investors at least. So there's that part too.
I mean, could you say it saves like uh does it save I don't think it saved like Ubisoft. Ubisoft had to part themselves out.
Oh yeah, Microsoft in general got yeah, and Microsoft got like pretty fucked recently. But I'm saying it's more like a it's something that would raise the price that another company would pay for them to buy them out. So
Well,
maybe
that's
they
in
see it that way.
theory of I mean, I do find it funny that they actually give like I personally think it's funny how they give. Yeah, but no, I will say this. I think a lot of people capitulated on the Switch. But of course everyone was. I'll be the
What do you
first
mean?
they capitulated.
I mean, you mean bought it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They
then not then
capitulated
don't
and
lie.
caved.
I mean, I was expecting them to buy it, so people bought it and are buying it.
Well, the question is what are you going to use it for? Do you have old Switch games? I mean, as I said, Nintendo and Sega and all these companies, they have so many games they could re-release with oh, we're gonna do a Mega Man collection, right? So what? Like to me, like if you re-released or if you gave out source code for like unless people try to monetize it, for like Command and Conquer, that's not a revolutionary system.
Yeah, but
I would say
Nintendo and
start.
especially Nintendo is pretty bad. I mean, Sega doesn't even make consoles anymore, so their game is not exactly the same, the game they're playing. But Nintendo has always been like this.
You mean you mean like the other ones? Because
Yeah, like
what? Oh yeah,
uh,
no, because if a game is live service, you don't have anything. Like I know like Division One's gonna have the servers pulled one day. Like I know it.
yeah, most
Like
online.
I have really the feeling when Division Three comes out as an example, they may drop Division One.
Yeah, unless they could find a way to like um, balance it out, I guess. Balance out the load, maybe. I don't know. I guess if it, let's say, if you had the same framework or engine, you could probably run it easier.
I mean,
You
what?
know,
Oh, you want a game on a my? What I think is laughable, right? Is color me weird, but odd. I don't see on handhelds you getting. Uh, I just don't see you getting like what is it? Basically, 120 FPS. It's like I was talking with Renown the other day. He goes, "I was getting this in Stellar Blade," but I'm like, "What does that translate to?
hmm.
How much are you
Um,
forcing hardware?"
the Switch 2 does have the oh god, what is it called? The AI frame thing, right? God, why am I blanking out now? What the fuck is it called?
Because that is the issue, isn't it? Because if live service games, what happens when that this era ends?
That is generally a good question. It usually they like the games that can be played single player will just sometimes stay single player. I know that let's say Gran Turismo, that's what happened with Gran Turismo Sport when they shut down the servers. They just had an update. It just removed um, the flag that was like, oh, it's necessary for you to be logged, online to play the game, and it was a single player game. And then it lost one of the features that it had because it was a feature like tied to online, and that was like liveries and stuff and changing brims, I think, or something like that, which was kind of weird, but yeah.
Clearly, yes. But like, I think Ubisoft can maintain three division games because the fan bases are three different fan bases. But
And probably this
it goes
there
into the
aren't they
idea
won't
of
be so many people on the first one when the third one comes out too. So it
well,
shouldn't be
they would
too
go to the
bad.
they. I use this as an example because I always made the case that if Destiny 2 sacked this. Because if you're going to say it, because Pirate Software was like, well, they have to support it indefinitely. Just find someone who wants to maintain a game server. Like, I'm pretty sure there's still an EverQuest server somewhere.
Yeah. The Stop Killing Games initiative doesn't mean the developers themselves have to, but they will have to provide the tools to maintain the game, at least. If they choose to, shut down their own servers.
Because
That's
it's not
how it
like the
would
crew.
work out.
Because the crew, they didn't even try. Because I guess they think they can monetize it.
Yeah, usually that's what happens. Okay, so what I was looking at was like the for the Switch, because it uses the AI frame generation, right? I do think I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
So technically, it would run some older games in higher frames, but higher FPS. But
Well, yeah, but you gotta
is it real FPS?
Is it really real FPS if that's the case?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you gotta understand, is it?
I mean, technically it wouldn't, but I guess the question would be, would it make a difference if people don't notice?
I don't know. I mean, unless you're a Nintendo and you just market everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of how it works? Because, yeah, no one's asking people to just to maintain. But if a group of people wants to maintain the server themselves, they'll do it.
Yep, exactly.
I don't think that's against anybody's morals to do that, right? Because how much? So, do you think? See, you're closer to that part of the world. Do you think they're actually going to take that seriously?
They're likely to at least
Look at it before
yeah.
they say
I
it's not going.
I don't okay. I can't say for sure if it will if laws will be passed because of it, but they usually do at least give them a look and consideration. Like it's more it's more probable that something will happen than the UK petition, because there was a UK one too that reached its goal, but that one is more unlikely to do anything.
Well, that's because what? You'd have to, I don't know, a blanket thing. And what would that mean? Is Europe just doesn't get certain games.
I mean, it would mean that if someone was to sell, a game in Europe, they would have to comply with, the ruling that they will reach. And if that is like that they have to keep up the game or release the game code, you know, make it available to the public.
Because what's funny is,
If
didn't you guys also have that rule? Like, it wasn't it Germany and a couple of other countries that ruled against Google and said Google was a monopoly?
I think, I'm not sure if it was Germany or. I don't remember that being on the news, but I don't remember where it happened exactly.
Strangely enough, I remember it. And the thing about that is, you guys do have enough of a consumer protection law.
That is the one thing we actually have. One good thing, I guess. There are other bad things that we do have also,
I mean,
but
it's okay. You know, you could always be living. But that's what I said. The Stop Killing Games initiative, right? Like, that's. I mean, it wouldn't be hard. Like, let's assume FromSoft wanted to stop supporting um, a game like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. You just terminate the mod. Like, oh, you just terminate it and you make it closed source, right? You don't have multiplayer features. You just have the other parts.
you can do that too. I mean, that's. I don't think the OG Demon Souls has an online anymore. I don't think the servers are for it work.
No, they don't work. It's kind of like I've been playing Dune Awakening. I don't think they're going to maintain all of these servers for a while, forever. They're going to start merging us eventually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They shut down on February 28th, 2018. The original Demon Souls servers. So slightly before the remake came out. Which makes sense, I guess.
Well, no, wasn't it the meme that if you cheated in Demon Souls or Dark Souls, you could only play with cheaters?
I mean, it not really.
At least that was the rumor.
Different games had different, like, let's say,
so they dealt with
online scalings, I guess.
Yeah, they dealt with the cheaters.
The thing is, there's not really, besides, like, I think maybe Dark Souls 3, no other game was dealing that much with cheaters, because there's no, like, most of the people would just, like, maybe save edit. But the thing is, if you save edit, if you, like, get the best weapon in the game, that would generally increase your ranking, let's say your hidden ranking, so you would only play with players that had, good weapons or, like, high level. So, there wasn't really a way you could, well, there were some ways you could cheat the system, but you could cheat them even without, like, save editing or anything like that.
I mean, you do that, then they, of course, but yeah, like, let's assume they stop Elden Ring. You just terminate the online features. I'm pretty sure someone would find a way to finagle it back to life.
Yeah, I do think that, like, most of these games still have some private servers. going on, but yep, it does look like it.
But yeah, so we're not saying that a game company had it's that's what actually got Pirate Software in trouble. Besides him being the corporate bootlicker, he basically said game companies would have to be as soon as game companies put out a game, they would be surprised with making imbalance in the GDP.
Yeah, he definitely misrepresented what the initiative was, but I think a lot of people did. A lot of people, at least on that side, I guess.
What do you mean they went a little bit exaggerated? But then again,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone gave him charity because it's funny how he's the one who pushed the signatures over.
Oh yeah.
Where he
Him being
got it
such a
pushed over.
retard basically got people to look into the matter, and then when people looked into the matter, the more they talked about it to other people, and then it reached people like PewDiePie and a lot of other people, big YouTubers and streamers. So that basically was the end of that. I mean, it now has passed over 1 million. I think there's like another threshold that they added with multiple levels because they were in case of botting, I guess, or like people
Oh, you
using
know what's funny about the funny story about Fallout 76? Do you know why we have it? Because
what do you mean?
they took into account the people who made the multiplayer mod for Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah, I think
So someone found a way in Fallout New Vegas, as bad as that fucking coding is, where you can get online play.
yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like people have done it for like other games too, but they had done it for like Skyrim, right? Too for a while. I'm not sure if there was an Oblivion one, but
Well, yeah, there's a
probably.
lot of stuff too I was looking at too, where it's we're gonna get into the. But I said, Stop Killing Games is an interesting initiative. I just think if stuff is open source, should be open source if you don't plan to do anything with it. Because all these older game companies have entire libraries that they don't monetize or they don't remake.
Hmm. Granted, I don't. Stop Killing Games is not about like those libraries specifically, but they are more like for like online games or games that need online support, so they don't like someone doesn't pay for a game that he then cannot access.
What do you mean that you can't access? You mean?
Yeah, that because there are like live service games that are full price. You will pay like 70, $80 or whatever, and then if they were to shut down the servers, you wouldn't be able to play that game anymore, and you paid money for it.
And then you're gonna have to pray that they don't ever remove the services from it.
Yeah, that is what I mean.
because that's usually the trick. I mean, they could easily keep Fortnite around for ages. Just update the engine,
Fortnite makes them money. That's the thing.
even if it's shitty metaverse.
Yep. It's like I don't know what exactly Rockstar is planning to do with GTA Online once GTA 6 releases, but we'll have to see about that. But yeah, it will be kind of interesting, I guess. Granted, GTA Online was not a technically different game, right? It was just GTA 5, but the online version.
And then that's the issue itself, right? Because you clearly don't want to maintain. It's like I didn't even know. Apparently, there's a team of like there's a little group of players that eh,
Yeah.
because they're gonna find your stuff.
What do you mean?
What was the last thing I mentioned?
Yeah.
Hmm. No, I do believe, like, say, a game like GTA 5, like, they've milked that for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, there's apparently an Ultimate Edition of that game.
And the game didn't have like actual story DLCs, so it was like only online.
That is a problem, isn't it? Because no one's asking them to maintain it. If you make the game open source, fuck's sakes, half Unity games look like weird games we could run on our phones. Give it about 5 years.
Yep.
But it's also, I'm not saying Actman had that weird take as well on it, but I think he did his as part of satire, though.
Yeah, I didn't see his take on it, but I did hear that he was at least in favor of the initiative and linked people to it. So yeah, that's good at least. Even if I don't like him that much personally.
You don't like Actman, really?
Yep.
What's wrong with Actman? He's totally normal.
Yeah, totally. He
Oh,
just
man.
defends my pronouns.
Actually, no, he got worse.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like a couple of things he's gotten into, and yeah,
Recently, you mean?
somewhat, I guess. Yeah.
No, my favorite actually was by all rights. He had something favorite he did. Like, I'm actually surprised he didn't defend pirate software.
Yeah, me too. Kinda. I did. I guess it wouldn't exactly fit his brand because he does, if I remember correctly, like play a lot of online games. So like he likes Destiny and shit. So yeah, I guess it does kind of touch on his you know game of
Well,
choice.
okay, no. The problem is he did make the point, and I agree. You can't keep corporate people out of gaming sphere. That's
I
physically
mean,
possible.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
And I think the only games you could re-release and or do is if you think there's going to be money involved. Like Age of Mythology is getting an expansion.
yep.
The Heavenly Sphere. It's going to add the Japanese pantheon. You, I mean, but that's a rarity, right? I mean, not every game franchise is like that.
Yeah. Most games that do get updates, that usually maybe they'll go on for like a few years, but after a certain point, they will stop.
I mean, if a game is single player, you're only as good as when you can run the hardware till.
Yep. But online games are a little bit more complicated. But yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say I use. People do maintain EverQuest. They do maintain these things.
Like okay, it's not like maintaining exactly my example, but it's like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the
Yeah.
2004 classic.
Yes, the
Uh,
2004 classic that looks like every bit of early 2000s.
yeah, but it is like a weirdly good game. Like, granted, it was released completely broken. Like, it barely ran, even back then.
You mean it barely ran? But
Yep. And, but people are still updating it. Like, they're trying to find, like, restore all the removed content and, restore it to what it should have been. Because there is a good game there.
Underneath there, you mean?
Yep.
Are you shocked?
No, that is what happens with like games that have
I
like.
mean, there was a lot better game design there.
I mean, yeah, like it was a good game, but it was very, very unfinished.
Well, I think now a lot of people do play unfinished games. They're fine with it.
Yeah, back then, if you released like an unfinished game, because there weren't like updates, online
No,
updates.
you got lucky. If now it just seems we get incomplete games, and everyone's like, "Well, this is just the new norm."
Yeah, they're gonna patch it at some point. Like every game comes out with a day one patch.
What do you mean? Doesn't that shit doesn't happen? I thought you knew this.
Sure. It doesn't happen. No game comes out with a day one patch these
Not
days.
all
They're all.
games do.
Oh yeah, okay.
I point to Avowed.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
there are
Really?
games that are what?
Like Avowed?
Yeah, I know.
Totally fine. Where? Yeah,
Totally.
guys, we know we're launching this game entirely broken, but it's gonna get fixed. I promise. No, you know what game I'm surprised? I actually thought they shut down the servers. They said they're going to be shutting down the servers for Anthem.
Oh yeah.
I thought Anthem was already dead.
Yeah. You would have thought so, at least. It was figuratively dead, but not quite.
Some person thought it would be okay. I guess I'd be under the impression that somebody thought, because that goes along the lines of, look, no one ever said Anthem was the worst game in the world either. They just, I think that I'm surprised there's still servers. Like, I mean, I know 2.0 was dead.
Yep. But I guess if there were some people, apparently not enough for them to be closing them, but shutting them down. But yeah.
You mean the concept of that, right?
Yep.
Oh. I mean, it's gonna be funny. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna be curious though. I may have to touch on more of the political stuff. I had a whole bunch of stuff pulled. Yeah, Europe's going through funny things right now. I mean, look, you know, London Stan is. We may have to touch on that maybe tomorrow or over the weekend. European
Yeah.
affairs are going to be pretty funny, aren't they, for you guys?
Britain is going through a weird time right now.
Apparently, in Germany, there's a stabbing a week or two, couple of stabbings a week.
Yeah. Berlin man stabs 19 people. Berlin
Berlin,
man?
Florida man stabs 19 people, and you know what's funny? I saw somebody. I saw somebody actually go in. They actually said that uh, it was Dane's crew. They said it was Trump's own FBI that actually said that uh, it was white people doing the crimes.
Which crimes? Wait.
What? FBI crime statistics said it was white people doing the crimes.
Ah, yeah. Sure, that's what they
I
showed
think
in the
whenever it was
statistics.
smug when I showed the FBI crime statistics. Did you know Hispanics are white?
Yes, obviously.
So pad the numbers.
I mean, even then, like, if I remember correctly, the numbers weren't like the worst.
You may have to do touch on that. I'll pull like stories or something, like because apparently, outside of dealing with the boat people, isn't it going to be kind of crazy if it turns out that way?
What do you mean? Like turns out what way? With stabbings and shit?
I just had the worst possible thing happen, except for I don't have any gear.
What happened?
So I've been playing Dune Awakening, and I love Dune Awakening. It is a very fun game. So my game crashed as I was crossing the desert.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
And I had 50,000 in coins on me.
Ooh, does that?
Yeah. That sets me back some days in farming.
Do you lose those coins immediately? Or can
If
you
you
get
get
them back?
eaten by a sandworm, you fucking lose everything.
Oh, and I assume that you will. Okay.
So if
Yeah,
you
that's not
have any
great.
uniques or anything, it's not as bad as the other stuff, but yeah, that's a hell of a thing to just happen.
Maybe if you can
Yeah,
like
that's
respond quickly enough. Oh, like
there was already a sandworm.
oh,
You
oh
can't
boy.
cross a you cannot cross a desert like that and not get eaten by a sandworm. So there's a reason I've grown. I actually crafted I've been crafting duplicates of all my uniques.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to deal with it, I guess. To deal with the
It
crashing
is
problem.
literally, it's done by, you've watched me play it. It's done by the same company that did the other people. It's done by the same people who did Conan Exiles. Yeah, fun
Conan, yeah.
come. Yeah, fun come. And they are. It's just really shit.
Was Conan like that? Because I don't remember it
I
being
don't
that
know.
bad.
I do not. I never played Conan.
I didn't either, but I did watch like at least a couple of streamers play it back in the day. Well, a few years back. But yeah, I don't remember
But
it
I
being
have
that bad.
50,000 coins just get eaten by the desert. Yeah, that's pleasant. That is just pleasant all around. Luckily, I have a good farm route, so there's been entire people who have rage quit the game over that. Though.
I can imagine. If you lost everything, then
I don't worry about losing the bike. All right, that shit's minor. I just look at it. I'm like, well, that happened. And all my deaths usually come at the worst times. To be honest, the dying crossing the desert is the most minimalistic. So, and the thing about it is, there was already I was like, I should have just flew up. That's why I had that feeling. I should have just flew up to the next day, the second biome, because no, that's been my game I've been doing for a while. It scratches the Fallout 76 itch because Fallout 76. That's what I said game wise. Yeah, that's just losing that money. Thank God all my house taxes were paid. So
Yeah.
I just got a farm route that pays. So yeah, that's been otherwise. I mean, we'll have to touch on the politics thing in Europe is going to be a little dicey for a lot of people, though.
Yeah, it certainly might get dicey, but we'll have to see.
You'll have to see it. That's going to be the fun one, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, no. What's funny is there's a reason. Like when I was actually playing, I was like, I realize I'm gonna probably die at some point, and when it happens, it's going to suck because it's going to happen when I least expect it.
Yeah, it's usually how that happens.
The only thing is, and people are like, "Well, you should be wiser." I'm like, you can't always craft things, so. But there's a reason why there's a reason why when I haven't streamed it right, but I've been playing it, there's a reason I double craft everything bigger. There's an absolute reason. And this is the reason why. Because I get eaten by a sandworm, yeah. Ignore my whole base that I already have extra stuff of. Yeah, other than that.
That might be a reason to not be carrying around money, unless you cannot stow it away. I don't know.
Normally I'm fine. I wasn't expecting a corruption error to do that.
Yeah, to be honest, you generally don't expect it. But yeah.
I mean, bear in mind, yeah, I don't know. And other things I've been doing is like Diablo 4. So, yeah, no, Diablo 4, I've been doing fine. New season. Like, this game's been scratching that itch of, I mean, this game's, I don't know. That's my big thing with games right now. Games will do that. So, I don't know. Other than that, I've just been doing things, sort of. Like, caught up on, it's a very good AFK game, if that makes sense. It's a good one because you physically have to stop. People, I had a person accuse me of playing 12 hours straight. I was like, but do you know how much time I'm AFK sitting on my ass? Do you?
Yeah, that's the same goes for Ark and Conan. There's a lot of crafting time, a lot of stuff that you need to wait for.
And if I'm out stranded out in the middle of nowhere, right? I can be taken out by a sandstorm. Yeah. That's why we. Hey, but then again, bear in mind, people. See, remember, people who don't game, they're more valuable. See, there's a reason I stopped covering Comicsgate people because they're not very intelligent.
I mean, yeah.
What can I
It's also
say?
like he wanted to probably get a dunk on.
He tried
Even
to
if
get
it,
a dunk on man. It doesn't kind of work either.
I mean, like,
He needs to not do that.
if you're playing games, it's like, if it's a good game, you're gonna waste time on it.
Do you know the
Even if
sign?
it's,
Do you know the sign of a good game? You don't remember your play. You don't feel it when you're playing it.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's the thing about Dune Awakening. Now, I do not like the maintenance schedule in the game.
Oh yeah, that's also a thing.
No, okay, look, 5 o'clock sandstorms every morning. There's nothing like getting on the game later in the day, and then you go to play, and then the next thing you know, you can't play long because they're gonna do maintenance in the morning. Because Funcom decided to do maintenance early this morning. Part of my problem is I had to go south to maintain my property south. So you can imagine. Other
Yeah.
than that, I've just been gaming and do other things. Man, we got so what do we have next week anyways? No, coming up is going to be Superman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you ever watch me play this game and the reason why sometimes I jump, it's because sandworms are scary things, as proven.
Oh yeah. I
So
mean,
in this area, right, there is this like where my house, the other base is. There's constant explosions.
because of the sandworms.
No, in the middle region. So how it works is, I didn't think I would like this game at all. I kind of watched the people play it. I'm like, I'm kind of curious what this game is, and I get into it. I'm like, okay, I give it a try. Totally fine. Uh, I'm in a region where they have basically like spice explosions.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's spice explosions. There's worm eruptions constantly. And yeah, it does become a little bit of the micromanagement simulator. So
Yeah. It sounds like
is it?
you're on um.
Yeah, no, I got lucky though and inherited like a base.
How does that work? Inheriting in the game?
Oh, so if someone abandons a base,
You can claim it.
mm-hmm. So I
Okay.
inherited a very flat base. Um, so there's a style of base that you need for things, and um, so the thing about it is, if you inherit, so I basically, so someone had just abandoned it as soon as I got up here,
I see.
and it's basically let me see, so it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Literally, if he gives you the idea, it is the base total circumference is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's literally a 9x8 structure. If you can imagine how big that was in Kone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roughly.
That is massive. And it's the only thing as it's just you gotta pay your taxes like every you just gotta pay your taxes like every couple of weeks. I pay on my friend so he doesn't lose his structure. And if you don't pay, you lose it. There's been a lot of people pissed off that they are losing their structures.
It is kind of a weird thing, but I guess it makes sense within the law. Kind of.
What do you mean?
Having taxes.
People are pissed off. Get more pissed off that they come in and they lose their stuff more frequently.
Oh. You can lose your stuff like by not paying taxes and losing the base.
So your advance 5s, if you don't pay your taxes, they open your advance 5s to be stolen. Your advance fees.
Yeah, that's not great.
Then people get pissed off. People can maintain a structure for like 20 days.
I guess it kind of incentivizes you to like keep a like upkeep kind of your base and like have some income and stuff.
Well, it's not like you can keep your permanent. It's not like you can keep the people keep the permanent ones. So, I mean, it's 6-1, half a dozen the other in reality, but I mean, it's totally fine. I think I have to go, but I mean, I just have to run back south and just I have to go get weaponry. It's all fun. It's okay. It's just it happens. It's just randomly. It will set. It will just set you. It's one of those things of. It will just politely set you back a little bit.
It's like losing progress in a game.
Well, more people hate the glacial progress in the game. I would be lying if I said, okay, so you go from working with certain metals, then you gotta build up to copper, then you gotta build up to iron.
Yeah, I know. Conan was very much like that. Though Conan had like, you would like capture slaves. There would be like NPCs encampments around, and
I know you did. I've seen people. You have your wheels.
Yeah. You had the thralls. You would break them off the wheel of pain and stuff.
I saw people with that stuff.
It is kind of wild that not that many people complained about it.
It's not 2024 year.
It was like, what was it, like 2017?
You would believe
2018.
A lot more people hate the fact that By the way, more people are more irritated with the fact that in the game, you deal with what is it? More people get more stupid or pissed off that they don't they can't play like it's COD.
Oh, yeah. But to be honest, like that is kind of dumb. It's like
It's
if you've
Dune.
played,
They said nerf shields.
it's also like if you've played their other games, you should know, you should kind of expect that this is not gonna play just like an FPS.
What? Don't you know you're doing lore?
Yeah, I know.
It it's a futuristic society that they literally fight honorably.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird.
Very weird.
And some people are, but yeah, like other than that, I mean, we can do what is it? You're free tomorrow, so
Tomorrow, no, but I will be on Sunday.
yeah. So Sunday we'll pick this back up. It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, I'll pull the stories for that because apparently it's. Yeah, I do got to admit though, what's your thoughts on the base Swede? The base Swedes banning OnlyFans for their people.
Yeah. There's like, on one hand, or like most, to be honest, I'm mostly pro, like, because OnlyFans is just, I do not like how prevalent it got, how many people were on there. But on the other hand, like banning stuff is generally not great, like outright banning stuff. So
Look, it's kind of like I agree with like art, like freedom of speech is good, but there's also that point of at what point do we allow the fetish to not live?
yeah.
Right? You gotta understand, there's a point in censorship. People don't get it. That's why I don't think people got. I think there were people who legit thought like there's people who really think that conservative leaning people don't care about morals or something.
I mean, yeah,
Like
there definitely like other progressives that think that, or like far
my
lefty.
favorite are the ones, aren't you for free speech? Yet you limit my free speech.
I mean, if they're saying that to conservatives, then they are dumb because, well, conservatives, I mean, back in the 2000s, early 2000s, they were the ones that were mostly doing the censorship. So, yeah, I mean, it's like for conservatives, free speech does have its limits. You know,
I'm sorry. Free speech is not. It ends when you decide to be a jackass.
it's also like there's a point where if something is damaging enough and on a wide scale, that might be a reason to, you know, at least
Okay. Yeah,
kind of walk it back.
That's
You know,
why
like
That's actually why I thought it was. That's why when I thought it was a little silly when Dane's crew was like, "Well, yeah, don't be shocked. We warned you they're gonna throw gays back in prison and shit." Like
what?
what?
What? Gay?
My whole thing's like they're like, "We warned you they're gonna come for you."
When were gays being thrown in prison? Like, when was the last time? Like,
Oh, you haven't heard about all the rulings where they've been walking? Oh, did you hear about the swimmer that lost their medal? They took the medal
oh, Leah
away.
Thomas?
They took the medal away.
Yeah. I mean, that is good. that shouldn't. That
Not based? No.
yeah.
No, should have not happened a long time ago?
What?
It should not have happened a long time ago?
Yeah. I mean, it should, you know, I don't know, like, I don't know how much I trust that person's transition, let's say, because especially for athletes, it can be very convenient to identify as a woman, and suddenly you're the top of you're the top in the world. And you were like,
that's more or less that as a it gets that interesting part where clearly they were trying to not hide the fact of. I look at that, I'm like, oh, so you just got mad because you get caught and you do things. And of
yeah.
course, you can insert the lady baller's joke, but no, and no, what was the other story that came out too? Apparently, they confirmed the what was it, the boxer that beat up the woman during the Olympics
Yeah, that it was a man.
got confirmed as a man.
Yeah. No, we're doing a pretty good, man. But yeah.
Yeah, let's pick this up Sunday. Yeah, it's gonna be. Nah, but I might just stick to the others. I'll figure out because it'd be funny. I've been trying to get Smug on to go over so I can hear his stories about Lundistan.
God.
What?
London is a weird place. I mean, not just London, but God.
Well, okay. This is coming
Britain
down
is
to
general.
the core thing. Isn't this coming down to diversity is not our strength?
I mean, considering that even Starmer, who is the current PM and the leader of Labour, pretty much accepted it, that it has gone too far.
Really?
Yeah.
He's confirmed it's gone too far. Okay, God.
Yeah, not only him, but Tony fucking Blair said so too.
Well, okay. The weird part is Blair. People think we trusted Blair explicitly. No. It's like us. Like, I had to explain to like Multi or one of their people. Do you think like we 100% trusted like if a Canadian came over, we don't actually no, it's funny. I actually saw like actually, I've seen different flavors of Norwegians now besides Arch. So Midnight's Edge is very much like Arch in a way, but just a little bit calmer. Like Bubbles around
Yeah.
Kibbs is. Apparently, there's a historian one, but he goes with the victim narrative side, I guess.
Hmm. I mean, I'm trying to think if I remember specifically a Norwegian, any other Norwegian that I would have watched. I don't think so.
The funny thing is, he tried to call him Metatron. Like, the thing is, I had to turn him off because I know he's full of shit. Because I could tell he was full of shit due to the fact.
What did he call Metatron?
No, he started quoting. He said, okay, well, one or two things is he said historians aren't very smart on YouTube. I'm like, okay, your arguments make sense, but you don't go after kings and generals.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would call him a historian, but I guess technically.
What, history YouTube hasn't died?
Like Metatron is generally like one of the few people that tries to be like measured, let's say.
Measured, yes.
Yeah, like he doesn't like try to even though he has admitted he's like more right leaning, let's say.
What, like right leaning by Europe standards?
No, I mean he lives in America. He is Italian, but he does live in the U.S. As in, like he would be, like fairly conservative. He's a Catholic,
Well,
like an actual Catholic.
isn't it because European? But there's also, I do understand the difference in the fallacies, right?
Yeah.
Of we can't say both. Like, can we really say like even if, right? Okay, what's your thoughts on the it? Let's assume the conservative got into Canada.
You mean won the elections?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Canadian conservatives are like the party conservatives.
They're like
Are not.
moderates in the U.S.
Yeah. Basically.
They're literally like moderates for us.
Yeah. I mean it's like how the Tories or the conservatives in Britain haven't really been conservatives in quite a long time now, at least since the 90s.
But yeah, no, I'll pick up that on Sunday because I'm curious because the current is interesting, right? Because we get told, did you not know Trump has made a laughing stock of your nation? I'm like,
I mean, okay, let's say that Trump made a laughing stock of America, right? Who the fuck else can see that they're doing much better?
Bernie, hell, Bernie Sanders went on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't, watch it, but like
I
did
have not
see that
watched that yet. I was been doing other. I'm like, oh, what the. I mean, what? Bernie Sanders has looked like he's 80 years old for 20 years.
Is that adrenochrome?
No, he has looked like a fucking old man for so long.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's
He
kind of
does
like.
not age well.
I'd say that's kind of commies. Like I've seen a lot of commies kind of look like they're in the 70s, while in truth they are like 50 years old or something.
But no. All our politicians are literally old men, dude. Literally every one of them.
And old women. Don't forget Pelosi.
What we talk about? No, Pelosi. Yeah, Pelosi's just up there as like.
The mummy.
Yeah, she's definitely in that realm of. She's in that realm of we straight have to figure that out. It's like
one thing about like I've seen is like at least I guess it's more like politicians in America are just like old, very old. But if you don't have anyone young and able,
well,
I
this
mean,
is where I will agree. There's like he's like a younger liberal guy or something. And he's like, yeah, conservatives have a 2028 issue. Maybe, just maybe.
yeah, because Trump is gonna be pretty old at that point.
No, he can't run again.
Yeah, there's also that, but even if like the lefty fantasies that he's gonna make himself be able to run and become like a dictator, he would be too old.
The problem with Trump, I will say this though, is he's doing the senile old man thing.
What do you mean?
So Trump has the genetics as he gets older that he's starting to go senile. He doesn't go senile, he goes insane.
I could see that. But I think, like, I don't think Trump has changed in any meaningful way in the last 20 years, at least. Like, he has always been kind of a, fire from the hip kind of dude.
The big thing is it's like the thing that Trump has, like, if you think in America we trust Trump entirely, you're a little insane if you think we do.
I mean, I'm sure that some people do, but like, I wouldn't call those people
I've had to have the
sane.
I've had to have the strange argument with a Canadian that says he has subverted our entire justice system. Not really. If Obama couldn't do it, Trump can't do it.
Yeah, there's like that weird conflict of like they both think that Trump is like some evil mega genius, but also like a giga retard.
See, that's the mistake. You can't look. You cannot be both a mega genius and then a retard at the same time.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't say I'm sure like where Trump stands, but I don't think he's either of the two.
So the thing about him that's more scary is So, like, Trump got his either big beautiful bill passed, whatever you wanted to call that damn thing.
Yeah, that monstrosity.
Yes. He got that passed, which arguably it's fine. Trump is going to be as good in his second term until we have like a major recession or something. Basically, right? Uh, because one thing we need to touch up on, and if you look into it, it's yourself, is look up, educate yourself on the Iran, not a war.
What do you mean? Besides the stuff that I have watched,
The people failed the generic IQ test. They said Trump was going to drag us into World War III by attacking Iran.
I mean, it was unlikely to be World War III, even then.
See, there's the rational answer, but you don't think rationally. There's your fault. You're thinking rationally. You're thinking of the brain. But Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson failed.
Yeah, I saw like a lot of people on the right were very concerned. I mean, I get it to an extent.
They have a right. They have a right.
It could have gone a lot worse, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, nothing much happened. Actually, barely anything happened to Americans, at least.
Do you mean all we did was bomb facilities? Then you take the word of people that we failed to take out the facilities because the Iranians aren't being honest about the destruction at the facilities?
I mean, the Iranians have said both that there wasn't any damage and that the facility sustained heavy damage. God knows. Give me a moment. I'll be right back.
Yes, but then again, there's a lot of soil blasted out of the earth as well, so take that for what it's worth and a grain of salt. I mean, soil displacement is the sign of subterranean explosions. Yep. Sorry, just quiet a second. Jeez. I need to get an ornithopter in this game. But, as I said, I'll be back Sunday. Probably will be European politics and more political, so do it that way. But till then, shall see people then. Fuck. I don't like crossing the desert. As I said, I just happened to disconnect and I lost my items. That sucks. That's why I split my stuff up. Anyways, I shall see people back tomorrow. Alright, so tomorrow, no, Sunday at 12. So 2 days. Anyways, I'll be off. This will be fun. And catch people later.